Hello all, Seriously is here for some glitch building practice. I haven't done very much glitch building in recent times and I need to get back into the swing of things, and we're here on the Frigateer save because I have a tiny room for plants here. But somebody asked in one of my old videos where I had a freighter room with harvestable plants in the thousands, how I did it, and does it still work? And I went in to test it, and yes, it does still work. So we're going to practice how to do that and how to get things working here with that. I'm just going to stand over here by the nutrient processor, and I'll try to go over the buttons. I don't have editing ability, so I'm pressing on keyboard the Z or Z key there to build the building menu open. And then I'm going to press this down here, edit place parts, and I'm going to press at the top, the second last option there, we see an eyeball toggle camera B. So we go into camera mode here. All right, here we see my freighter room. I have like 9 or 10 rooms here, and each of them has only 4 plants. You don't need to use a 4-plant room here. You can use the 2-plant room, especially if you're going to be glitching a whole bunch of plants together into one slot. I don't recommend doing too many. You might break your speakers or your headphones or your eardrums if you put too many plants in one room is harvestable at the same time. So if we go here, you can harvest all 4 slots at the same time. So I'd say for a 4 room, I wouldn't put more than 80 to 100 plants in it. You're still going to have a very loud sound effect if you do that. So you're going to want to glitch build a whole bunch of these rooms anyway, because the more you put in there, or conversely, just do 1 room and put 1,000 plants into one slot, but then go to your options, go to general, and turn sound effects down to off, all the way down at the bottom before you harvest your plants each time, and then turn them back on after, because otherwise, yeah, it's going to be loud. All right, so back into camera mode building. One thing we might notice here is in my practice to see if it worked, you might see that this curve is facing towards us and those are facing that way. All the plants in a room, when you plant them natively, will always face the same way. This is not the same as it used to be when building in freighters using the planters, the planter boxes in the old freighters. These will always face the same way. All of my frostworts are all facing the same way. See, that is on the same side of each of them. But these ones that I glitch built over here are backwards to the ones behind it. You can see the curl is facing a different way. Also, if we change our angle, we can see that, whoops, they're on a pretty significant angle because of the twist in the wire that we did when we did this. So how did we do this, and what are the steps involved? So let's back out of here and harvest this room so we get some plants back. As you can see, even on an angle, they work fine. The room is harvestable even if they're on an angle. So if you don't mind them being on an angle, we don't have to fix the twist, but we're going to try to fix that right away. Let's see, I'm going to pick up that plant with the X button, delete, get the resources back, that one as well, delete, and you know what, over here as well, and over here as well. Oh heck, let's pick them all up. So, what we did to get this in here, if we go to wire mode and we go to, so wire mode was the Q button while building on the keyboard. And if I cycle part over to, I'm on ByteBeat cable now, teleport cable. So I can hook a teleport cable up to that or these 2 slots here. But as you can see, oh, there isn't a twist on there. Why is there not a twist? Oh, yes, there is a twist. If you look at the lightning bolt, this angle right there should be more straight up and down. The top of the lightning bolt should not be perpendicular to the ground. It should be on an angle. So there is a twist in these wires. We're going to try to fix that. So what we're going to do is not be in that. We're going to go to the item we want, which is a solar vine. We're going to have it here, and as I click the left mouse button to build, top button there, I'm also going to press the Q button to toggle wiring. and that didn't work, I placed the plant. So I need to back out of the wire mode here and delete the plant and try again. There you see, that's the wire glitch. We have now wire glitched a wire point into that exact spot. But we're on a freighter, so I can't build a wire. But what I can do is cycle part and cycle part to a teleport cable and then pull that to this one here. And that's what I did over here. I cycled, I built a wire glitch and I cycled it over to this port here. That's why you need to build this first. There has to be one somewhere in the room to connect that wire glitch to. There, look at that wire there. Look at that lightning bolt. You can see how the angle is almost straight up and down. It's not, but you want the lightning bolt tip to be pointed straight down, and you want that top part to be on an angle like that. That's a well-placed wire. The only thing I'm not sure about, yeah, it's straight up and down in this way. Now what I want to do is take a peek at this slot here. The problem is we can't have it connected to two spots and show up. I can't connect a wire to here anymore. So we have a minor problem, and what we're going to have to do to solve that is delete this whole room, because there's no way to target those wires and delete them while this room is still here. But first, I want to get this slot here installed. So let's go back to our solar vine. It doesn't have to, we could do any flower that targets that slot perfectly. Oh, I got it first try. I am doing way better than I expected. The whole reason I'm doing this video is because I need to get back and practice in this. Also, someone whose name, they asked me yesterday and I already forgot their username. I am so sorry. I'll put it in the comments. This video is for you anyway. They asked me how I did this, so that's why I'm starting with this practice. We're going to go over to another save to do some base building practice on the ground in a second. So let's switch this back over to the teleport cable and connect it here. We're going to look there, and that lightning bolt is on the right angle, but we have no slots available here to connect to now. So what I want to do first, I think, no, let's do this. I'm going to go into this room. I'm going to go to, it doesn't matter, any item. We're not going to build it. We're going to hit the C button to toggle edit build. We're going to target the room itself. As you can see, I can't target the wires. No matter where I point my cursor, it won't target them. I'm going to delete the room. Now I can see those wires floating there. You can only see the tips of teleport wires, but if I go like this and the room stops being targeted, that means I'm targeted on the wire in the middle. I'm going to delete that wire in the middle, and then we are going to copy a double cultivation room and place it, and we're outside now. So what we're going to do is go back into build camera, turn it off, turn it back on. You can move around. We're going to back out of building a double cultivation room. And is it facing the way I want? Yes, it is. Good. So now when we go to wire mode, we check all of our lightning bolts. They're all facing the correct angle. That's great. Now we have to do a reverse wire glitch to get these in here doubled. So let's go back to our plants. Now we have to pick the plant we want. This is sort of important. In another way, it's sort of not important. If you're only going to use one of these rooms, you could glitch all of these flowers on top of each other. You could have solar vine and starbulb and frostwort and cactus flesh all growing in the exact same slot if you want. It's not what I want though. Alright, so we don't have to do what we did before. What we have to do now is press the wire button with this selected. We have to toggle back over to teleport cable. We have to pick our slot, and we have to press the Q button, the toggle wiring, at the same time as we click place wire. And it didn't work, and the way you can tell is because there's no plant there. So if I say toggle wiring again, oh, I'm toggling plant parts. Oops. Okay, I gotta try that again. So go back into wire mode. You can see the red stated wire we can't place. We're going to toggle to teleport cable, Q and click. It didn't work. Oh, there. If I hit the Q button, we can see that I have tether. I've tethered a wire to that point. That's not what I want to do though, so I want to, oops, I want to back out. Build camera. Solar vine. Wire mode. This is why I'm in practice. Practice. It's so hard to do this with a keyboard and mouse without mods or macros. Nope, I failed out of that. If I hit there, yeah. So you want to go to that and then back out. Nope. There we go. So I got that built in, and if we check on all sides, the angle looks nice and straight. Now, if we compare that to one that we just naturally place in, it's probably not facing the same way. So I can probably, oh no, because there's one growing in there, I can't place one in there now, same as there. But you can see that the curl on this one is facing that way. And the curl on this one is rotated 90 degrees this way. So all of the ones we wire glitch in here will all be facing that way. So we go back to our solar vine and place it. I can't place it in there, but we go wire, toggle, and I can still pick this one and do it again. Now I have 2 solar vines growing in that one slot, and I can just keep doing this. There's a third one. 3 in one slot, and the more you do, the more you're going to get from harvesting them when they do grow. I don't really need that on this save, but that's how we do that. That's the practice makes perfect on getting some of the timing done on that wire and reverse wire glitching, and how you do it using the teleport cable on the freighter, because you can't use the regular wire on the freighter. So problem solved there. It does work. That doesn't go anywhere, so you know what, and since I don't particularly need it, I'm just going to take that out of here. Using the slots that I'm going to leave those wires in there. You can still see them, but you know that's the price you pay for having glitched flowers in here. I forgot to do. I'm going to continue setting up this whole direction. I can use these slots after I wire all these plants in. I don't need them to be permanent connectors anymore, and then I can connect from this one to that one, plant all of these plants from this one to that one, connect all of these plants, so on and so forth, and do all the rows and all the things. I don't have to ever place another teleport, short range teleporter, and twist my wires and untwist them again. That's all done with. So let's go make a save. Probably did an autosave while I was talking there, but just in case. Alright, let's go back to mode select and go over to Placid Permadeath, who's on the Space Anomaly from doing the weekend mission, but we'll head back to our settlement build because I want to practice some stuff, show off what I've been doing there. I'm getting close to finished. It's pretty tedious stuff because I'm so out of practice. This was halfway through my practice, basically. I started practicing on this save. And we could probably fly down, but there's a teleporter up here that'll take us right back to it. Alright, we're going to my bases. Purple one, not the green one. Green one is the freighter. So this is a fairly nice planet, but at nighttime, a lot of the metal stuff reflects very orange, so it's nice that it's daytime for us here. And I've shown this base off before. I've done a lot of building here, putting pathways in between all the important stuff, and town square, town center here, decorating the overseer's office, putting in some stuff and things around all the landing pads to keep the dust out, building myself a little home up on the hill, on the side of the hill. Now this settlement is nestled into a hillside, which I liked a lot. The caves don't open up too much there, unfortunately, so it's not, got good cave overlooks halfway through, which would have been really cool. But I thought it might be neat to surround this settlement with a wall, since it's already more than half surrounded with a mountain. And I saw Katrin doing this on lots of her saves. She has put walls around her settlements on multiple saves, and it always looks super cool. So I thought I would do the same thing, and what she does is put giant walls, because if you're going to put a wall all the way around a settlement, it has to be really far out, and it's a lot of build parts to do a wall that big. These are 3 times bigger than normal parts, and oh, hey, nice solar ship. 3 times bigger than normal parts, and therefore take 1/3 as many parts in your base. And since I've already built so many things and stuff in this settlement, this whole hut here, I think I built the whole hut, or I built the portal room into a hut. I built a whole bunch of buildings that are all just me. All these little huts are just one item, but that building over there, the settlement didn't build that one. I put that one together to try to match the theme, just add more buildings and stuff. I added lots of stuff to the settlement, lots of parts already used, so I had to be cognizant of that when putting in a wall to surround it. So let's go over how I did this stuff by going back into build camera. It's been a week or so since I've done any of this building, so I'm going to have to remind myself as we go here. The first thing you're going to want here is, actually the first thing you're going to want is a circle build. Very, very hard to explain. I'm going to link a Beeblebum video that I always go back to. He's doing a new series with all the glitch building techniques from easiest to hardest, starting with no glitching at all. All of the non-glitch building techniques that are really cool and get you some really cool stuff and effects and practical stuff you can use. You don't need to do any kind of timing stuff that we've been worried about today. But I'm practicing the timing stuff, so you have to start with a circle if you want a circular wall. You do not need a circular wall. I wanted a circular wall. And then I built it way above my build just because I didn't want to have to go through any of these buildings and delete parts inside buildings and stuff. And then I brought my walls down and I put some stuff in the floor as shallow as I could, because when you delete these things, you don't always get all of your flooring back. In fact, at this door I put in, I left a couple of flooring pieces in here just for covering up the holes that were left when I repaired. When I deleted these floors, it didn't all come back. And since this is a settlement, I have no option to use the terrain manipulator to restore terrain. It just won't let you restore terrain. Eventually, over time, that terrain will reappear, but if people visit while it's gone, you don't want a hole there, so I tried to make these as shallow as possible. What we're going to do today is work on this side and see how bad any of these end up being. Oh, there's a good spot over there. Let's head this way. I'm at the edge of the build camera, so I'm going to hit B and B really fast, toggle camera, and center my toggled camera around where my camera was, so I can move even further. So over here on this wall, which is pretty much done up to the edge there, as done as I'm going to get it, we can see a hole left in the ground after I took the floor out. So that's there forever until, I don't know how long it'll be there. Years potentially, weeks, months, maybe until I just dig enough holes elsewhere in the world and use up my build limit and it just restores the terrain. I don't know how it works exactly, but we're going to work on this today. I'm actually going to walk over here because it's so far away from where we are. After you get your circle build built and your floors put in, I'm using these metal floors because they have, this is also all Katrin. This is all her tips and tricks. I'm not stealing her method, I'm telling you what it is. These have nice lines and center points. So you can center these because this is not perfect building. This is overlap building, this is by eye building, so you want this to be as centered as possible using center lines and stuff. So that's what you got to do. So after you get your circle build and your floors put in for lining stuff up, you're going to want a giant wire, and the way to do that is to pick a building part that can be enlarged, and it's easiest to pick a building part that can be enlarged and won't be 800 feet tall. So a locker, or one that I sometimes like is emergency heater. Doesn't take very much, 10 gold, 10 pure ferrite. But lockers I think only take ferrite. Yeah, 10 pure ferrite. So we'll go like that, and we will go into wire mode. We're not going to do any timing. I'm not clicking or anything. I'm just going wire. I'm going to click it somewhere. I'm going to stretch it out, and I'm going to go wire again back to my thing. And that's how you do the tether glitch. So one of the glitches Beebs covers very early on in his new series. But the video I'm going to link for the circle build is one of his old ones, but it's still very easy to follow. Now that we have this tethered, now I want to increase the size with the R and F buttons. I'm going to use R to increase it. And when it stops being enlarged, that's maximum. And maximum enlargement is 3 times bigger. Now what I'm going to do is the wire glitch, reverse wire glitch, one of the two. I'm going to press Q at the same time I build the part. And we're going to get a really, really, really thick wire. Like if we build a normal wire, look how skinny that is by comparison. It's literally 3 times the size. So out of wire mode, I'm going to delete that skinny wire. I don't need that. I don't actually need this one anymore. We've got one right there to work with. You're going to want one of those near each section of this wall you're working on if you're doing a huge build going around an entire settlement. I'll tell you the stats here if you want to do this. I chose my center point closer to the mountain cliff instead of the center of the build. This is the circle here. That's the center of the settlement. This circle is over there so that the wall would be centered on the cliff side, and we could circle around closer to the settlement. The distance from center is 30 floor tiles, and it's every edge. You don't need to skip any sides. You just go all the way out 30 tiles from center, and that's where these walls will merge nice and evenly. Do I have any over here? Yeah, we're close to these ones. See those corners? Very nicely merged there. So that's what we're going for. All right, yeah, let's do this one. One more thing before we start at all. Let's do this here. So because settlements cannot repair the ground, this is another way to do stuff. I have built an item here using, instead of rooms, because rooms will destroy the floor. Let's go on the build camera. This is a solid cube. You find this in this menu here if you've purchased it. Solid cube. Cuboid room will demolish the floor. Solid cube will not. And then after you've built solid cubes, you snap another one down beneath it, and 2 down if you want to go deeper, but this will go under the ground without breaking the ground. Then you can snap an infrastructure ladder to the side of that solid cube, climb on the ladder, and climb under the ground. You don't want to fall off because you'll appear above the ground again. But if you climb under the ground just deep enough so that when you go into build menu and build camera, your camera doesn't pop above the ground. We can now do building down here while being below the ground. We don't want to be below the ground because I've already broken the ground above it. So we're going to back out of this, climb our ladder. But that's how I did those floor tiles over there that are just peeking out over the ground. So let's stand right here near where we're building so we don't have to recenter our camera a bunch of times. We are going to need to do the top floor first up here, because if we do the bottom floor first, the tippy top of the wall will stick right, it'll be perfectly level with this floor, but it'll show over our connecting point, which is right here in the center of these 2 floors. I want to be connected right there. And if I build the bottom wall first, it'll show and cover that center point, and I won't get these exactly lined up. So we're going to start with the top wall. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to press the Q and C buttons at the same time. You see at the top there, Q is for wire on the very right hand side, and C is for toggle edit build. And if I can highlight other parts like this, that's exactly what we want. And I'm going to copy our thick wire. You can see it's a thick wire because that connector is super huge. And then I'm going to draw it anywhere on this center line. You're looking for the white dot to be on that center line, so you sort of have to eyeball it a little bit, but the better you are at it, the better it'll be lined up. Then we want to do the same thing again over here as we stretch it over. Hey, that looks pretty good. And now I want to press the Q button at the same time as I click to build. No, I failed. So I'm going to back out. I'm going to delete the wire. I'm going to copy the wall again. Q and C again. Copy the wire again. Get back into position. The reason to do this on 2 floors instead of 1, I could go from the edge of a wire here. I could do this. I could center a floor here and just do 1 floor. The further back you go, the easier it is to see if your wire is straight or not when you get to the center point. If you get to the center point and you can see on the right hand side that it's skinnier or at an angle than the left hand side, you're not centered and your wire is at a bad connection at the starting point. That's close enough, and I failed again. This is why I got to do the practice, guys. Right, copy that. You can see at the same time, I failed at the same time. You can see I've got a wire selector and I can't copy apart, so I'm going to hit Q, back out of that. We're going to pick apart, Q and C at the same time. There we go. Pick our wire. There we go, I got it in, perfect. Now there's a very important step here, and it's unfortunate that it went to nighttime for this, but what you got to do here is pick your color. Fortunately, I don't have to glitch a color in that I want it to be, because I want it to be this color here, teal and blue, which is a natural stone color part. There's an extra step, and I'm not exactly sure how to follow it. I think you need to color your wire. That step we did at the beginning with the locker, if we had picked a color for the locker, or whatever part we used that had the correct color palette we want, that's how you color a wire. And what you do after that, I don't know. But here's what we do. We pick our color, and then we target our floor panel. We are in the toggle edit build version, right? If I go to this, I have this selected, so toggle edit build. I'm going to pick it up, the second option there, move, so left click, pick it up, and then I'm going to right click and just back out of that. If you don't do that step, this part will always change its color back to whatever the color of the wire is when you reload your game. And the color of the wire is based on the position of the wire, because wires are very weird. But there's a way to color the wire the way I was talking about just a second ago, but I don't want to do that, so I want to do it this way. So let's try to get underneath wall in before we go today, and it is a stone wall base. This is also important too. You need to pick your parts. So if we go to stone here and I were to just pick stone circle window, I would always get contextual building. See how it changed to a top part there and it's a base part there? If I go to this and I press View Variance X, it'll show all of those options, and it won't be contextual. It'll always be the one you pick. So pick these ones first, and whoops, copy from those. So I'm gonna copy a base, Q and C. I'm gonna copy our wire, and it's that one right there. Oh, that's a problem. I can't see the exact center. Well, let's see how good we can get this, or if I can get it at all. It's nice to see that the wire is touching the floor and not the dirt. I would hate this wall to be at a really big angle. Oh, I failed anyway? Okay. Copy. Nope. Copy. Copy wire. That's our center point. So let's connect it to there. Yeah, I hear you, timer. I'm done. Okay, let's get this working. Come on, come on. Maybe it is touching the dirt. That's gonna be unfortunate. Alright, it's in there. Is it on a weird angle? No, it's like perfectly connected to our wall above. Awesome, possum. You can see that it's the wrong color based on the wall above and the wall beside, so we're gonna do color menu, pick our color, we're gonna pick it up and put it back by click and right click. And then what we want to do, oh, I didn't actually want to leave build mode. Go back into build camera. Now I can delete this wall, floor, and this floor, and this floor. Gets us most of our dirt back, no horrible gaps, and this one, yeah, that's pretty good. I think we got all of our dirt back from that. I'm very happy about that because these ones are even more shallow. We should get most of our stuff back from these ones here. But yeah, that's the process. And that's what I'm going to continue on, and we'll showcase this one off when I get it finished. But it's a lot of work because of how bad I am at glitch building. But this has been practice. Oh, look at this. Here, now that we're at night. Oh, come on, Sentinels. Really? Look at the roof of this building. Look how orange it is. All of the metal here reflects. Look at my face. Look at the reflective face panel. It's so orange because of that nebula up there in space. Boo earns. It's the only downside of this settlement. Everything's orange. Alright, that has been some glitch building practice and some practical effects that I'm putting them to use for. But that's it for today. Until next time, have a good time.